Hello everyone. When we last left our hero, Chris Redfield, he was locked in a dangerous battle against a giant snake. But after pumping a few rounds of shotgun shells into his scaly hide, that snake slithered off like a little bitch, never to be seen again. Until later in the game. Much later, I might add. Oh, and we were also poisoned. And then Rebecca came and helped us out with that, but not before having to backtrack down to the save room to get more serum, because, she went up there to see if Chris was alright, but didn't think to bring the serum just in case he was poisoned like Richard. I mean, the important thing is, though, that Rebecca came through for us and saved our life. Because Rebecca can't really do anything else without a big, strong man around to help her. Now, take it easy. I'm not making a comment about women. I'm making a comment about Rebecca. Alright? That's what you need to understand right now. You think she would have survived the events of Resident Evil 0 without Billy? The answer is no. Would she have survived the events of this game without Chris? The answer is no. And I'm not really hating on her. I know it sounds like I am, but I'm not. It's just that a character like her wouldn't fly in today's, society where women are supposed to be stronger. And, we always had Jill, who was easy on the eyes, just like Rebecca, but Jill was far more useful and could pick locks, in addition to mixing herbs and chemicals. But more on that later, because we've got an appointment with this guy, the Crimson Head Elder. The very first Crimson Head. But I guess he didn't turn into a licker, he just turned into a more savage version of him. You piece of shit. Come on. Yeah. This fight's pretty easy. There's not really a very I don't think this game has very difficult bosses. That's the good news if you're thinking about playing this. I mean, just run around, try not to get hit. And, at the very least, this game included the feature from Resident Evil 2 and onward, where if your health is in the yellow, in the caution area, the character will hold on to their side and look hurt, or if they're in danger, they'll limp severely. The original 1996 Resident Evil game did not include that feature. You just walked around as normal. It was an amazing game in that way. They weren't even sure it would be successful because horror games weren't really a genre back then. And you had to... a lot of the features worked against the player. I mean, it was like, well, yeah, we're not going to have a health bar. I was just thinking maybe you could just open the status screen and see how you're doing, basically. Okay, so we got the stone and metal object from the coffin. And it does fit into that door that's behind the staircase, however, we only have one right now. So we can't use it yet. Not until we get another one. What we can use it for, however, is this little thing right here. To finally get out of this part of the mansion. And go outside where shit gets really real. Yeah, but what I was saying about Rebecca is that Jill can do everything Rebecca can do, and she's badass. So, to prove that I actually do like Rebecca, I'm just pointing out that the series hasn't really done Rebecca Chambers, a whole lot of justice. I mean, she was in this game, she was in Resident Evil 0, we haven't seen her since. It'd be pretty awesome to see her in maybe one of the Revelations games, or Resident Evil 7 even. But yeah, I mean... tell me I'm wrong. Jill can do everything Rebecca can do, but she's more badass and she can hold her own. And I don't really mind her being the sort of damsel character that she is in this game and in Resident Evil 0. But I hope that the events of these games means that the next time we see her, if we do see her again, she'll be a lot tougher. She'll have learned. Because if she's the same kind of character the next time we see her, then she's just a hopeless case. So as you can see, we now have two choices to make in this room. So we're going to take the new choice, the choice that wasn't in the original version of the game. This area is completely new to the Resident Evil remake from the GameCube and this remaster. It was not featured in the original game. And there's a reason for that. You will see that momentarily. First we look at this sign here, and it has the compass directions and where they apparently lead, supposedly. And at first this sign doesn't really make a whole lot of sense, but it will momentarily, I assure you. So even though this path was added in this game, I'm kind of glad it was. It's not real big, it's not real extensive, they didn't really completely change the whole game, but it's simple and it's short.
Respond. Wesker? Monster chains. Treat. Not says. Wave. Woods outside the mansion.
So there was our good buddy Wesker, trying to tell us about a monster and in chains, and something about maybe don't leave the mansion. But hey, we kinda have to, so fuck him. Yeah, and you have these two weather vanes that are different colors, and they don't make sense yet either, but they will here momentarily, like I said. We have these two dog statues with different colored eyes. This one has red eyes, Warcry Revenge. This one has blue eyes, and it wants destruction. And then we read the plaque. When the dog's desires are fulfilled. So you get the basic idea. You go back to the red and the blue weather vanes and you put them in the direction of either destruction or revenge, and you get them to stop, and then the door will open. Easy. Yeah, the timing can be a little tricky, but if you just study them carefully, you'll kind of get the gist of it and hit the button at the right moment. And now we are granted admission into a cemetery. Another one. But up ahead is actually where you'll get the Colt Python. You need to bring the wind crest with you. Even though you don't get the other crest like you did in the first game to actually get us past the mansion and into that shed where we have the two paths. It's kind of clever what they did with those crests, because they are in the game, believe it or not. Yeah, and if you play this game, I recommend you don't do this. I'm just doing this purely for your entertainment. Shooting the shit out of birds, because they're assholes. But hey, if you got plenty of ammo, you know, always lock on, and immediately after locking on, immediately after your character changes direction, that's when you should fire, because that's when you have an opening. If you wait, the character will not follow the moving enemy. That's Resident Evil auto lock-on number 101, basically. Which Capcom would later come to refine in the Onimusha series of games on the PlayStation 2, which were basically, well, it's not fair to call it this, but a lot of people were saying, well, it's Resident Evil with swords. I mean, it's feudal Japan, you know. And kind of, but there was more to it than that. Onimusha was a great series of games. I fucking loved them. That's why I'm excited for Neo from Team Ninja coming out here pretty soon. It's supposed to be a cross between Onimusha and Ninja Gaiden, and you know, Dark Souls. So yeah, that should be pretty badass. Yeah, so you just put the wind crest right there, and then it'll open up and give you the other three crests, and then that's how you get the Magnum. But I had completely forgotten about that when I got to this part, so I don't have them. So I'm gonna wait for the next video to show you what's really behind this gate, but You're gonna finally find out what the fuck is making that terrible noise.